Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to Exploring Consciousness. Today's meeting is about dream yoga and the art of lucid dreaming. And this subject is one of my favorite subjects in meditation because I've since been a young boy, had a lot of vivid dreams and lucid dreams, and I enjoyed playing around with them and exploring them, even before I knew what it was or that it could be a form of meditation. So it was not until I became 17 or 18 years old that I actually discovered that lucid dreaming could be a way to awaken. So that's what I would like to share with you today, different methods and techniques on how we can use lucid dreaming to awaken to our fullest potential. And yeah, I want to start with a special meditation, which I use to increase my chances of having a lucid dream. If you practice this meditation, then you may also at times be able to slip directly from the waking state into a lucid dream. I've never been really able to do that while in sitting meditation. So this meditation is usually done laying down, like 20 or 30 minutes before falling asleep. So try this type of meditation then as well, and see what happens, and feel free to experiment and be creative. So there's no reason to follow this meditation in a strict sense. So you can make up your own and adjust it to your own style. So to begin with, let's start with the 9 purification breathing. It's a very common Tibetan way of preparing when we're doing subtle energy work. It's clearing the channels and relaxing the chakras so that more vital energy can flow in and it will be easier to relax. So start with holding one of your nostrils for, say, the right nostril, and then breathing in through the left nostril, and then breathing out in the left nostril. And do that 3 times. So once in, and out. In, and out. Make sure to take real deep breaths and really to push out all the air. And do the same with the second nostril. And now for the last 3, you breathe in and out from both nostrils, but this time you focus your attention and the breath just below the belly. So you imagine as you're breathing in that all that air is gathering below your belly in a form of ball. And then when you breathe out, that ball is rising up through your body, and then either out through your nose or out through the crown of your head. So try that. So breathe in Deeply focus below the belly, feel the ball of energy there, and then release. And if you want, you can breathe through your mouth as well here. That's totally fine. And then you do it again. One last time. And so in this breathing, it's usually accompanied with visualization of different colors and different energy being purified. But it's enough to just practice this kind of breathing exercise without the visualizations, and you may feel that your body is slightly more vital than it was before you did it, and that's fine. That's enough. So having done the 9 purification breathing, let's notice the sensations in the body. So just shift with your awareness down into your feet, your legs, the lower part of your body. And in your own way, your own time, move with your awareness through the whole body, the belly, the chest, the back, your arms, hands, and up to the throat, jaws, the face, and the entire skull up to the crown of your head. And then just hold the entire body in your awareness, breathing into it. So just hold that in your awareness for a while. Get comfortable with it, with the breathing and being aware of the body. So do this in a light way. There's no need to concentrate or use effort or force to maintain this recognition. Just hold it in a gentle way, and if you get distracted and wander away in daydreams or fantasies, then that's not a problem. You just, when you notice that, you bring back the mind to the present moment, to the breathing, and to the body. And so now I would like to invite you to set your intention, meaning to reaffirm to yourself that the reason you're meditating right now is because you want to have a lucid dream. So try to really feel that in your body. Maybe it's in your stomach or just above it or somewhere else. So try to feel that longing, that desire, that want. Maybe it's a form of excitement, an interest, a curiosity. And say to yourself silently in your own mind, I want to have a lucid dream tonight. So tonight, when I'm going to sleep, when I'm dreaming, I'm going to realize that I am dreaming, and I'm going to stay in the dream and be able to control it. So maybe there's something particular you would like to do in that dream, then that could be this could be a great point to remind yourself of that. I would like to explore how it feels to fly, or I would like to meet with my inner teacher, or I would like to receive guidance on a particular subject. And do that a few times. So try to repeat to yourself your desire to have a lucid dream. And most importantly, feel that desire in your body. It's almost like looking forward to meeting someone you care about. So a few hours before, we usually feel excitement. So that's the kind of energy I'm talking about. So breathe into that energy, locate it in your body, and try to increase it by repeating, I want to have a lucid dream. I want to recognize when I'm dreaming so that I am able to have a moment of lucidity. So that is my intention. So falling asleep with this intention in your body will increase your chances of having a lucid dream. So you just try to maintain that, and then you also need to remember the breath and to relax. Because if you are too excited, too agitated, then you won't be able to fall asleep. So just trust in the power of your intention, and eventually, when you feel it's enough, then you just go back to relaxing, letting it go, allowing the energy to slowly dissolve in your experience. Then I would like to invite you to focus your attention in a soft way on your throat, particularly on the throat chakra. And if you don't know where that is, then that's not important. You can just focus on any spot on the throat where you feel a subtle contraction or a openness, a flow of energy, a tingling sensation. So anything really you can place your attention on. You just do that softly, and you can use the breath to breathe into that spot. So this is the point you will maintain for the rest of the meditation. Just to the best of your ability, without trying, without forcing your mind to stay present with the throat chakra, but in a friendly and gentle way. You just hold it. So if you become familiar with the throat chakra, then you will notice that the movement of energies in your body will change a bit. So this can also help you to slide into a lucid dream if you fall asleep with holding that chakra in your awareness. And the trick now to, after having relaxed, set your intention and become aware of the throat chakra, is to allow your mind to drift and to show you images, just like if you were daydreaming, while still in a very subtle way maintaining the recognition of the throat chakra. So allow yourself to drift deeper and deeper, almost like you were starting to fall asleep. You can maybe feel a sinking sensation where the body feels heavier. And just let that happen. So don't try to make anything happen. Just let whatever happens happen by itself. And if excitement arises or resistance arises, then you let that be okay. And you relax that by breathing into it and then returning to the practice, maintaining your awareness on the throat, and then letting go, dissolving, melting, sinking. Allow the mind to go where it wants. Pay no particular attention to the things you see or hear. Perhaps you will start in this point to lose a bit of your body awareness, because things will appear to be more flowing. You might see colors and patterns. If you look at your eyelids, that's great. That means you're on the right track. So this is called the hypnagogic state. And this is the place where most people get stuck. And the main reason people get stuck is by getting excited and waking themselves up from sliding into the dream. So that's why I would recommend to you to just pay no attention to what is going on. Just allow yourself to slide deeper and deeper into the experience. letting go into it, flowing with the images and the sensations, getting lost in them. So the trick is, don't try to make anything happen. Just allow whatever happens by itself to happen. So thank you. This was the meditation I wanted to show you. And as I said in the beginning, this kind of meditation will increase your chances of having a lucid dream. And at times, if you're lucky, you may go directly into a dream this way. It's called a WILD induction. And WILD stands for wake-induced lucid dreaming. But yeah, even if you have had a lot of lucid dreams, it's hard and difficult, at least for me, to be able to do that regularly, to go directly into a dream. So there's a lot of factors here that can affect this possibility. So we need to be able to have a lot of reoccurring lucid dreams, we need to have a daytime practice. So that's what I would like to talk to you now about. Different practices we can do during the day when we're awake to increase our chances. The most common one, and what I feel is the most effective one, is to do reality checks. And that's really simple. You just make the effort and commitment to remind yourself as often as possible during the day to ask yourself the question, is this a dream? So as you're walking to the store to buy groceries, you catch yourself in that action and you say, is this a dream? How do I know that this is not a dream? And then you can perform a reality check. You can, an example is you can hold your nose and try to breathe through the nose. So that's not possible if you're not in a dream. If you're in a dream, then what most people notice is, well, I can breathe. I'm holding my nose, yet still I can breathe. That's not possible in the real world. So it must be a dream. And poof, you're lucid. And then you have some time to play around with that dream. Another way is, which many people use, is to look at your hands, and you can easily do that during the day. Just look at the palms of your hands. Maybe you want to count your fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then go back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I have 5 fingers on each hand. But in a dream, things are not so stable and sure. So what most people notice when they look at their hands in a dream is the hands feel blurry, and sometimes they have a finger more or a finger less, or their hands look weird. So that could be a great reality check. If your hands don't have the right number of fingers, then obviously you're in a dream. Another is, which seems to work for a lot of people, is reading something. So looking at the text and reading it, and then looking away, and then looking back, at the text and reading it again. So if it's the same text that you read the first time, then you know, okay, this is real life. But in a dream, what most people notice is if you read something in a dream, look away and look at the text again, then the text changes. There's something else on the text that wasn't there on the first time. That can be a great dream sign too. Something, and everyone has probably heard of the expression, pinch me, I think I'm dreaming. And so that is something many people use and have used for a long time, is pinching themselves in a dream to feel, am I dreaming? Is this real? So though you can dream the sensation of pain, it usually feels very different in real life, pinching yourself, than it does pinching yourself in a dream. But because you can imagine pain in dreams, I don't use that technique, but try it out and see what feels good for you. Something I sometimes use is to take my hand and to try to poke my finger through it. So in real life, obviously, I can't do that. But in a dream, so what can happen is your finger goes through it. And last, just to give everything I have, another good reality check is trying to fly. So in a dream, what most people notice is it's quite easy to start flying, to start levitating above the ground, to jump very high. So trying to do that in real life can be a great reality check. So nobody even has to notice you doing it. So you don't have to stand in the middle of the busy street or city or in the mall and say, oh, I'm trying to fly. You don't have to do that, but you can just go into your own experience as you would in a lucid dream, and then try to hover above the ground with your imagination, with your intention. So that's all you need to do in a dream, is to imagine that you're hovering above the ground, and it happens by itself. So that's the reality checks, and what makes them so effective is the more you do it, the more your subconscious mind stores that information, and then it will appear to you in the dream. So you will catch yourself doing the reality checks. You will catch yourself asking the question, is this a dream? How do I know that if this is a dream or not? And so these will be the mental triggers that enable you to become lucid. So the more you do them, the better. There's no such thing as doing them too much, but probably, as it is for most people, you have to do them for a couple of days before they start appearing in your dream. So what more did I want to say? Yeah. Regarding daytime practice, one of the most important keys to success in lucid dreaming is having a good dream recall. So this, I find, is something that few people have nowadays because of the way we live, and because of a lot of stress, and probably depending on the things we eat and drink. So we drink a lot of caffeine and alcohol in our society, which makes it a lot harder to remember dreams. But having a dream journal is, I would say, almost a requirement. So even for me, who has had lucid dreams since I was a boy, if I stop writing down my dreams each morning when I wake up, then eventually I find that the frequency of lucid dreams and also my recall of what I dreamt becomes less and less. So by making that commitment to each morning to take out your book, so your dream journal, as you would your diary, to make that the first thing you do when you wake up, and to write down, I dreamt that I was flying, or I saw a cat, or I was angry, or whatever it was. And if you can't remember anything at all, then you write down, today I couldn't remember my dreams. Or you write down, I just remembered I was angry in my dream, or I just remembered the color blue. I can't remember anything else. So you start with that. You start where you are and write down at least something. And that way you will train your mind by activating the right side of your mind, which is the logical and conceptual thinking, by the process of writing. So you will strengthen that in you, making it a lot easier. Yeah, reality checks. Okay. So that was the preparation to have lucid dreams and to increase the frequency of lucid dreams. So next comes the question, so what can I do while I am in the dream, while I'm having a lucid dream? So the first step is to recognize that this is a dream. So you do the reality check, and you have the experience of becoming lucid, and that experience is almost always the same for everyone, and that's a rush of energy going through your experience, your dream body, and it's usually a mixture of excitement and fear. And that can be different intensities and different moments for different people, but it's the same in the sense of, oh my God, this is a dream. So the most common experience here is that the energy becomes so intense that you wake yourself up. So the experience is you fall asleep, you're dreaming, and then you hear yourself in the dream, oh, is this a dream? How do I know if this is a dream? And then you're like, oh, this is a dream, and then you wake up. So if this happens to you, don't worry, this is very common. This is the experience most people have when they start experiencing lucid dreams. Just keep with it, and remember to next time when you have that experience, oh, this is a dream, then remind yourself, okay, what am I supposed to do now? And so in step one is stabilize the dream. So how do you stabilize the dream? There are many ways you can do that. My favorite way, which I find is most effective for me, is to chant a mantra. And a great mantra to do that is to say, mind awake, body asleep, mind awake, body asleep, mind awake, body asleep, mind awake, body asleep. And you do that until you feel more grounded, until you feel more present, until you feel more embodied in your dream body. So you feel like you have full control of the emotions, until you feel that the surrounding imagery where you are in the room or the landscape or wherever you find yourself in becomes clearer, more lifelike, more stable. So when you feel that the dream is stable enough so you can walk around and explore, and then you can let that go. But until then, dedicate your time to stabilizing the mind. And while you're saying that mantra, so you should start to feel that energy that was awakened in you when you became lucid to slowly calm down. So relax. But that leads me to the next obstacle. Don't relax too much, because if you relax too much and just let go, then you will lose your lucidity. You will lose your awareness that you're dreaming and fall back into the dream and just dream and forget that it is a dream. So that's also a very common thing that happens in the beginning, and can even happen at later times. So really training that in you, the stabilization, is very important. Another way to stabilize the dream is to find an object in the dream, any object at all, and then just look at it and breathe into it, and to just stare at that object until you feel your mind and energy to be calm, stable, focused, concentrated. So if that is difficult, then it could be a great thing to practice that while awake, to maybe use an object and to focus, to stabilize your mind with it. So it's important to practice that as well. So a lot of stuff you have to do before you can have a lucid dream, unless you're lucky. Of course, that can also happen. You don't do anything and it just happens by itself. But these are the trainings that make it easier for you. But once you're there, once you have that time, you don't know how long you have, so make sure to use every moment. And the first step is to play around in the dream, to manipulate the dream objects. So you do whatever you want, but try to do things that are not possible in reality. So most common thing to do is to fly, and that's what most people will probably do in the first few times they have a lucid dream, because it's so awesome. Another thing is to change an object into something else. So if you like find a piece of rock, then you can hold it in your hand, and then imagine that you're sending energy into it and turning it into gold, and then you open your hand and then you see, maybe you see gold, maybe you see something else. So you play around with that. If you notice a person in your dream, you can play around with multiplying that person, so there are several copies of them. Or you can try moving objects with your mind. So if you see something like a glass or a ball or whatever, then you just focus on that object, and you imagine yourself pushing that object with your mind, and you're just imagining it. You don't have to do anything else, and then it may move, it may not move, but the more and more you do it, the easier it gets. And the thing is, with all sorts of dream playing around with the dream objects, the more you are confident, the more the more sure you are that you are in a dream, the greater your ability to manipulate the dream will become. So if you try to do something and you find, no, it's not possible, like trying to walk through a wall, then you need to remind yourself, this is a dream. This is just a dream. Everything is just in my mind, and I can do whatever I want. So you repeat that over and over again. This is just a dream. This is just a dream. It's okay. And then you'll notice that the boundaries that you imagine become softer and softer. So try, if you have that opportunity, to lean your face against a window in the dream, and then say, okay, oh, this is a dream, there is no window here really, and then just push slowly, and you'll feel like you're going through the window, and the window is like expanding, becoming bigger, until you can like crawl through the window space like it was a soap bubble. So that's something to try. So that's the first step. So playing with the dream, getting to know it, testing the boundaries, and if you only do that, then that's enough. Then you have already a great time and a lot of great experiences. So step 2. No, I'm sorry. Step 1 is to awaken in the dream, become lucid. Step 2 is to manipulate the dream, play around with it. Step 3 is to use the dream as a spiritual practice. So basically, whatever practice you have in your waking life, you can do that in the dream as well, and that will have many subconscious benefits. And you can also manifest divine spiritual guidance into your dream. So this can be tricky, and each time you try to do it, something unexpected usually happens. But what I find works for me is if I want to try to summon the aid of another being into my dream, I first start by purifying the surrounding area. So I try to make it look better, to look cleaner, to look nicer. I try to conjure up some flowers, some light, some offerings, some jewels, something pretty, something nice. If I know that this particular being or deity likes something special, then I'll try to bring that as well into the dream. And having prepared, as if I would prepare for a guest, then I try to summon that being into my experience by calling out. Like, oh, please help me, I need some guidance, can you hear me, I have a question, I need you, could you please come here? So whatever you say, it's the intention that matters, not the words. So, and then you see what happens. Maybe nothing happens, and maybe something appears in your dream, and you can ask questions. And just for the record, so everything that happens in the dream is a part of your subconscious. So when you're talking to another being in your dream, you're actually talking to yourself, but you're talking to your own subconscious. So you can get a lot of information from yourself, about yourself, and that can help you a lot in your life. So ask questions and play around with it. Yeah. What other practice can you do in the dream? If you have any fears that you have a difficult time with, then try to face them in the lucid dreams. So try to conjure up spiders, ghosts, monsters, and see if you can face them. See if you can face the fear. So let me just check the time, because I have, okay. It's the same thing. When I start talking, then time flies. Okay, the last step then is to recognize awareness. So that's the ultimate purpose of all spiritual practice, and also with dream yoga, according to Tibetan Buddhism. So first step is to become lucid. Second step is to manipulate the dream, to control the dream. The third step is to use that as a spiritual practice. And the fourth step is to become aware that the whole dream is displayed in your mind, or rather, your mind is displayed as the dream. So recognizing that unchanging quality of your awareness in the dream, and then just settling and relaxing into that recognition. So just as you would when you're awake and you're doing the non-dual meditations of recognizing awareness, you do that inside your dream. So the purpose of that is to slowly dissolve the boundaries we experience between waking life and dreams. So dreams will start to become more lifelike and appear more real, and reality will start to appear more dreamlike. And we will start to notice when we do this practice that everything is not as solid as it appears to us. So that is the point of this practice, to finally be able to maintain the recognition of awareness in whatever state we're in. So whether we're awake or asleep or dreaming, to recognize, the purest nature of my mind is here, it's present, it's aware, it doesn't change, regardless if it's in the waking life or in the dreaming life. And that will also enable you to go into what is called sleep meditation, where you're able to maintain awareness of awareness even when there is no objects present. So meaning even in the darkness of a deep sleep, where there are no thought activities, where there is no body sensation present and no energies, to even then to be able to maintain the recognition of awareness. So that's a very liberating experience, which I hope everyone will experience sometime. That will radically shift your perception of reality. To finish off, I would like to give you a few more tips on how to induce lucidity. A method I found very useful is called Wake Back to Bed, and it's basically just to sleep for 6 to 8 hours. For me, it works better to sleep just 6 hours, so that I don't start dreaming naturally, but to wake myself up just before I would start dreaming and going into REM sleep. And then I get up from bed, walk around the apartment, maybe read a bit about lucid dreaming, and meditate a bit, and doing the setting my intentions and what I would like to do, that I would like to become lucid in a dream, and what I would like to do later when I am lucid. So doing that for 10, 15, 20 minutes, just until you feel more awake, so your mind is not so groggy. And then you go back to bed, and then you do the meditation if you want, which I showed you in the beginning, of being aware of the whole body at once, sinking into the body, setting the intention, okay, I'm starting to fall asleep now. So whatever I see soon will be a dream, and when I see something, then I will know it's a dream, and then I will awaken. And focusing on the throat chakra in a light way, that will enable you to slip into the hypnagogic state easier. You will start seeing patterns, colors, swirly energies moving in front of your eyes when they're closed, and you may start to lose body awareness. Time and space perception will become iffy. So that's the tricky part, because usually people get excitement or fear arising in those moments because they're not comfortable with that, they're not used to that. You just let that be okay, and it's better to let yourself fall asleep. It's better to let yourself drift into sleep and just let go of the objects, let go of the chakra, let go of the intention, let go of the images, let go of everything, and just fall asleep, because then you will still have a chance of having a lucid dream. If you focus too much on the objects, then you'll just stay awake all night and you won't be able to drift into sleep because your mind is so active. Yeah. There is another method which I use. Maybe I can talk about that more in another meditation. It's called going on a dark retreat. And it's very simple. You just deprive your senses for a while. You put a blindfold, a bandana, or a cloth in front of your eyes so you can see. You put in some earplugs as well, so you stop the hearing and seeing, because those are our main senses. And then you try to, as long as possible, to stay like that. So you will notice when your main senses are deprived, that it will be easier to slip in and out of dreams, especially if you take power naps and you lose your sense of time, of how long have I had this blindfold on me, I don't even know what time it is. It will be that boundary between waking and sleeping will become softer. Yeah. So if you want, you can try the 30-day challenge of lucid dreaming. To every day dedicate, I'm gonna write something in my dream journal, whatever I can remember, and to every day do reality checks. So do one at least every other hour, so your mind becomes familiar with it, and then to do a short meditation just before falling asleep. So do the meditation while you're in your bed. So do those three things: dream journal, reality checks, and meditation before falling asleep. And then within 30 days, I'm convinced you'll have a lucid dream. And when you do, you can write to me and you can ask questions, and I will try to give you some pointers. So all of you at home, thank you for listening to me. And for those of you who are here live, let's now we can discuss, and you're free to ask questions. So thank you, and I wish you all a great day. Bye.